Cialdini's influence liking. I'm Sean. Other group members are Wema and we. The liking rule. The general idea behind the rule is the more you like someone, the more you'll be persuaded by them. Dr. Cialdini indicated that we are more likely to comply with requests made by people we like. Liking explains why we are more likely to purchase something recommended by people close to us. There are three important factors of liking. We like people that are similar to us. We like people who pay us compliments. We like people who cooperate with us towards mutual goals. Give an example of the Tupperware party of liking in action. Have you ever wondered why the high-priced Tupperware brand has not been sold in stores since 1951? Liking, the most influential weapon at play at a Tupperware party, explains why the in-home sales model is more successful, generating over $2.5 million per day. First of all, everyone knows the host and stands to earn a profit on all containers sold at the party. It's a warm, comfortable environment that the partygoers know they can buy from and for a friend rather than an unknown salesperson. The attraction, warmth, and security and obligation of friendship are brought to bear on the sales setting. The strength of the social bond is twice as likely to determine the product purchase as its preference for the product itself. Most friends invited to parties they end up attending and making a purchase, regardless if they needed the product or not, and even though it's more expensive compared to a similar product that can be bought in a store. Cialdini points out that when attendees made on-the-spot purchases, it was because they knew and liked the host and felt obligated to make a purchase because of it. The pressure to say yes to someone you know and like is in effect and works very well. Here's an example of endless chain method. This is a form of liking in sales strategy. So a sales representative attempts to get at least one additional lead or name from someone they interact with, regardless if they sell to them or not. This allows them to call on this lead and say, "Hi, Lisa, I got your name from a good friend, Amanda. She said you'd be interested in learning more about life insurance options." You're automatically the liking bond between friends is activated with this technique. In turning one of these sales representatives away under these circumstances proves to be difficult, and it's like rejecting the friend. Of liking marketing. This is an invite your friend, get $10 when they make their first purchase. So you invite your friend, you say, "Hey, if you make a purchase through my referral, I'll get $10." So the simple act of you doing this to a friend invokes the liking principle, and this is marketing is playing. Science professionals are those who tend to use liking, the weapon of liking, to their advantage to sell to you. Compliance professionals understand the power of the liking rule to produce a scent. When there's no friendship opportunities present, a compliance professional seeks to get the customer to like them. The factors that cause liking to take effect. So there's 5 factors Cialdini points out: physical attractiveness, similarity, compliments, contact and cooperation, conditioning, and association. Physical attractiveness. Research has shown that we subconsciously associate physical attractiveness with favorable personality traits. Good-looking people have a likable advantage because our subconscious automatically assumes these people are honest, kind, funny, and intelligent. Research has proven that good-looking people have a much higher chance of getting hired, even over someone who might be better qualified, but not as good-looking. A study of the Canadian federal elections found that attractive candidates received more than 2.5 times more votes than unattractive candidates. Only 14% of voters indicate that physical attractiveness affected their vote. Good-looking people are likely to receive highly favorable treatment in our legal system. In a Pennsylvania study, indicated handsome defendants were twice as likely to avoid jail as unattractive defendants. Better-looking men and women receive help more often unless they are viewed as a direct competitor. And social benefits of good look accumulate early in age. Adults view aggressive acts of good-looking children as less naughty when compared to the same act of not as good-looking. To continue, physical attractiveness creates a halo effect. This gets exploited by compliance professionals because we like attractive people and we tend to comply with those who we like. It makes sense that sales trainees programs include grooming hints, Fashionable clothers select their floor staff from good-looking candidates, and con men are handsome and con women pretty. Here's a jewelry store sales representative, for example, placing a better-looking sales representative in a sales setting to help activate this principle. Similarity. Simply put, we like those who are similar to us. This fact holds true in relation to opinions, personality traits, backgrounds, or lifestyles. We want to be accepted by others, so we find things in common to appear similar to them. Things such as personality traits, background, lifestyles, and interests have the ability to pull people together and cultivate liking. Here's a example here. I love potato chips, so do I. Let's do business. New studies have shown that we like people who dress like us. In a study where people were asking for money were similarly dressed, they received money two-thirds of the time, while when the people were dissimilarly dressed, they received money less than half the time. Cialdini advises that we should be careful around requesters or salespeople who appear to be just like us. Many sales training programs teach trainees to mirror and match customers' body posture, mood, and verbal style. Similarities in these have been proven to yield positive results. Example in car sales. A car sales rep might notice that you have a mountain bike in the back of your SUV you're considering to trade in. As a result, suddenly the sales rep mentions he or she is excited to go biking at the state park this weekend, even though they might not actually be doing that. This creates a conversation about mountain biking and activates the liking principle. The sales rep continues to look for things they can bring up to increase the similarity in between you both, and as a result, you like the sales rep more and are more subject to his or her recommendation to purchase a vehicle. Let's face it, we all love it when people compliment us. We naturally tend to appreciate and like those who give us praise. Even when the praise is clearly false, it still cultivates liking. The information that someone fancies us can be a bewitching, effective device for cultivating return liking and compliance. Research has shown that we like compliments so much that we can fall victim to the weapon even when we know someone is using it as a sales tool. Joe Girard, the world's best car salesman pictured here, sent out more than 13,000 greeting cards every month to his former customers that said, I like you. Giving compliments was a key part of getting customers to like him. Cooperation. For the most part, we like things that are familiar to us. Often we don't realize our attitudes influenced by how many times we've been exposed to something in the past. Research has showed us that in an election booth, voters are influenced to choose a candidate merely because the name seemed familiar. In a controversial Ohio election, a man with little chance of winning achieved victory when he changed his last name to Brown a couple of weeks before the election. The Brown name was associated with a great deal of political tradition. Research shows that becoming familiar with something through repeated contact does not necessarily cause greater liking, though. Continued exposure to a person or object under unpleasant conditions, such as competition, can lead to less liking. For example, in a school setting, you see each other every day, but you don't end up liking everyone. The fact that competition can develop in a school setting can enhance or dislike, or can enhance liking or disliking between students. Contact only leads to liking when people are cooperating to achieve similar goals. Cooperative learning incorporates cooperation and competition. For example, jigsaw learning requires students to work together to master material for an upcoming examination. Each student is given only one piece of the puzzle to master the test. This positions the students to become allies rather than enemies. When a group of people work together to achieve a common goal, liking occurs. Compliance professionals are forever attempting to establish that we and they are working together to achieve the same goals. They promote the idea that we must work together for mutual benefit. They want to create the perception that they are your teammates. An example of this is a new car salesman who takes our side and does battle with his boss to secure you a deal. Conditioning and association. We can associate positive or negative thoughts or feelings about something with a person. According to Shakespeare, the nature of bad news infects the teller. A great example of this is a weatherman. When bad weather happens, the weatherman gets blamed for it. Even though they did not cause bad weather, they are guilty by association. Even when the person does not cause the bad news, the simple association with it is enough to evoke feelings of dislike. For example, you hang out with someone who is viewed socially as a criminal, you're most likely to be viewed that way as well. The other side of the coin is being associated with positive things like cause liking. For example, when the weatherman reports sunshine, the people like him more. And then if you are frequently seen with successful people, you will be seen that way as well. Compliance professionals are always trying to connect themselves or their product with the things we like. For example, good-looking models are included in many automobile advertisements. Research has shown that advertisements with a good-looking model causes men to feel the automobile is faster, better looking, and more desirable than the same advertisement without a good-looking model. Manufacturers rush to connect their products with the current cultural rage. For example, during the Olympics, we are told that the official product of the U.S. team is, and we are compelled to buy it. Some celebrities are paid to link themselves to products that are related to their roles. This link can influence how consumers feel about the brand or product in a positive or negative manners. A good or favorable feeling has been found to be associated with food. As a result, professionals may design sales pitches to be done over dinner, not before. According to association principle, if we can surround ourselves with success in even a superficial way, our public image will rise. We purposefully manipulate our connections with winners and losers to improve our self-image. Wins increase connection to the wins, loss increase disconnection to the loss. With the passion of the sports team, the sports fan, the self is at stake. This is a good example. This is why people react so passionately to their team's successes and failures. For example, when MSU plays well, the team's apparel sales of the team's apparel surges because fans want to be associated with that success. As distinguished author Isaac Isam describes our reactions to contests, all things being equal, you root for your own sex, culture, locality. You want to prove you're better than the other person. Whoever you root for represents you, and when they win, you win. So when SVSU wins, you say, we won. When they lose, you typically say, they lost. So you try to disassociate yourself when they lose. You try to associate yourself when they win. Say no to liking compliance practitioners. So many of the factors that lead to liking, such as physical attractiveness, familiarity, and association, have been shown to work subconsciously to produce the effect on us. That means it's unlikely for us to implement a timely protection against them. Cialdini advises that we should let these strategies play out and focus on identifying the effect rather than the causes. We need to be sensitive to the feeling if we come to like the compliance practitioner more quickly or deeply than should be expected. If you're identifying this weapon is being used on you, this is the signal for a quick countermaneuver. Mentally separate the compliance practitioner from what they are trying to sell you. It's vital to remember you will be buying the product or service, not the compliance practitioner. Focus on the merits of the deal and make your decision accordingly. I'd like to reference Cialdini's book, Influence, in particular the liking chapter. And that concludes our presentation of liking. We will have a discussion questions posted soon. Thank you.